yesterday I was going to kill myself. And if I would have did that, I wouldn't have been here today to hear your story. I lost my mother, my brother, all in like a 6-month period. I lost my mother, my brother, my job, my apartment, 2 of my best friends, right? I could have easily gave up on life. I could have easily went back and got high, I was a cold-blooded addict. I was shooting heroin, shooting coke. I was homeless. I was panhandling. There was times I never showered. I wear the same clothes for 4 or 5 days. Like, I was a mess. Sleeping in hallways.
Just Julian's energy. And then, of course, I learned about his amazing story. And from pain to purpose, that's all we're going to talk about today. And Julian, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm. So my name is Julian Miller. I'm one of Boston's top motivational speakers. And, I'm just here to bring energy and share my story.
That's amazing. You are originally from Boston, from Massachusetts?
Yes. Yeah, I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, the town Roxbury.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm currently living in Hudson, New Hampshire now, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So anyways, what I wanted to start straight to the point. I wanted to start with things that amazed me about your story, because when you said that I will go straight to the point. When you said I robbed 14 banks, I almost fell from the chair. I was sitting in my chair and I almost fell from it. Yeah, so I want to briefly tell your story. I know there is so much, but in general, I want to show your background. And because now you're a completely different person, but I want people to understand where you're coming from. Oh, where I came from. So I was born and raised in Roxbury, Boston, Massachusetts, to a single mother, of 4, and, she took care of us. My family's originally from Costa Rica. I was the only one that was born in the United States. So my mom, my mother and 2 of my brothers came up here, for a better life. And then, I came about. And so, but the area that I grew up in, it's a lot of violence, and like in the 90s, the murder rate was like sky high, in Roxbury. So it was like, a lot of drug selling, a lot of, the crack epidemic was in, and I grew up around that. My brothers grew up in it, and, I seen, I watched what they was doing, so I followed suit. I started, I picked up on what they was doing because, they're my older brothers, so I look at them, they're my role models. But I just took it to another level, and, from selling drugs to, um, um, you know, carrying guns and using drugs, and it's just committing all type of crimes. It was just, my life was crazy because, it was like soon as I walked outside my apartment, everything it's right there. The environment is right there. Everybody hung in front of my house, in the hallway, or on the side of my house. And it was like I was kind of born into it, And I would just look out my window, and I'll see all the craziness going on. I would find like guns and drugs in my brother's room, and it amazed me, because I didn't know nothing else. Yes, and I want to highlight how your story. So now your life is completely different. Yes, you did like some prison sentence, and you're talking about it. You're sharing this experience. You knew nothing else. You were a little boy. You just followed in the steps of your older brothers as role models. And then here you are, motivational speaker. You speak at high schools. I know you speak and you work a lot with like children, youth, teenagers, and you wrote a book, amazing book that everybody should read. So you technically went from all this pain to your purpose. What was this moment when, maybe not when you completely saw changed life, but when did the change happen, Julian, for you? So, it happened in 2006. on my last bid, meaning my last jail bid. So I did three separate jail bids. Excuse me. I did a juvenile bid, which was like 4 to 8 months, and then I did a state bid. You know, when I say bid, for those who don't understand what bid is jail time.
Yeah, I didn't know what that means.
Right. So that's why I had to clear it up.
Yeah.
But I did 3 years in the state prison for selling drugs. And my last bid I did was 8.5 years in federal prison for unarmed bank robbery. But that was my turning point right there, where in '06. So the first time I did my first bid, I went back to the same neighborhood, and I hung around the same people, and I got right back into doing the same thing. The second time, same thing, like same results. Thinking that I could just chill by a liquor store that's a block away from my neighborhood, and won't get caught up in no bull crap. So, and I still got caught up in it. But the third time I was tired. I was tired, and that aha moment was, like, I found my purpose. I found my why.
So
My,
what it was for you? Like, how did you? Okay, so you were falling back into the same pattern, and it's understandable because many people they don't know it, but we have nervous system that is actually deciding how we act and what we do, and it's always choosing something that it knows. So your nervous system was just choosing what it knows,
what it
and
was
even if you feel like you don't want it, but your body was wired for this, so it was autopilot was taking you there, and it's extremely hard to just switch. So when did you decide, and how did you decide that you were done, and what helped you not to fall back into the same patterns, and how did you find your purpose?
So I found my why. That was my first thing. My why. And my why is my daughter.
Oh.
And so that's why I wanted to change. So I started to work on myself. I started to love myself, because before I wasn't loving myself. I'm also a recovering heroin addict as well. I've been clean for 19 years. I'm coming up on my 20th year of no drugs. Right? Yeah, right. And 3.5 years of no liquor, no alcohol, or nothing. But I started to love myself. I started to work on myself. And so what I did was, I went and I got my GED while I was locked up. I got my GED, my apprenticeship in culinary arts. I took anger management classes, drug classes, you name it, anything just to better myself. So when I come back into society, I have a better opportunity, because ex-felons, it's hard for an ex-felon to get a job. And and it was just I was just ready. I was just ready for that change. I was ready for that change, and I didn't really find my purpose yet until I came home. You know, a few years later. Like, I had to experience different things, and go through different things. But I found my purpose 6 years ago. It took me a while to figure it out. And and that's that was my roadmap to 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 where I'm at today.
That's amazing. So you
Mhm.
found your why. You found
Yep.
your why, and that was your turning point. And your why was your daughter. And it's so often, right? It's so often when our kids, they actually, I think we think that many of us, we think that we have to raise our kids or we are here for them. While honestly, I believe that our kids are here for us because when they come, we're like, we just have to become better humans. And what we were not able to do for ourselves, we try to do for our kids. And that's amazing. How old is your daughter now?
She's 24.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. She's
So yeah,
24. Yep.
that's amazing. I'm sure she's proud of you. And Julian, I know how hard it is for many people to talk about their past. I know a lot of people who've been through, hard things, and they had the journey, also hard journey, and they healed and they changed. But when it comes to talking about it publicly, maybe sharing their story, writing a book like you did, you wrote a book and you shared this, they have some kind of maybe guilt and shame, and they're not able to open up to the world.
Hmm.
How did you start opening up about your journey, and how did you unfold all this purpose?
So I feel as though like by me sharing my story can help other people, and that's why I'm so quick to share my story, because you never know what the next person's going through. And by me sharing my story and let them know, like, listen, this is what I've been through and this is what I'm doing now. Like, it's possible for change. Like, change can happen. You could love yourself. You could, you know, get out of that 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 level of being stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can recover from that. You could grow as a person, Like, you just can't. I I couldn't grow in my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I had to put myself in uncomfortable situations so I can grow as a person. And that's part of me, sharing my story. Like, sometimes it'd be uncomfortable for me, but I do it because it's healing for me and it's helping other people.
So you see, you do it, you said, because it's healing you as well, right? When you
Yeah.
share your story and you see that it wasn't wasted, that it can impact other people, it's kind of a healing for you as well, right?
Hmm.
That you know it wasn't wasted. When was this moment when you realized that everything you've been through, it had a reason?
Um, when I fir- so in 2019, 2019, I think, 2019, I was at an open mic session. I also do poetry as well, right? And 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 there was a teacher there. He was doing poetry as well. And after we finished, he came up to me. He was like, "Man, your poems are amazing. Like, do you mind coming up to my school to share your poems?" So I was like, "All right, cool. All right, cool." So, I went up to the school. I shared my poem, and I shared a little bit about myself as well. So after that, the next day, the teacher called me and he was like, "Man, listen," he was like, "I've never seen them kids pay so much attention in my life." He was like, "They didn't have their phones. They was just like locked into you." And then he invited me back to the school again. And from there on, I was like, "This is it right here. This is why I went through what I went through, so I can give back, so I can, talk to these kids and talk to people that are in recovery and talk to, people that are struggling with what I went through." Or, at that time, like, that's when things started to get rough for me in middle school, high school. You know what I'm saying? And I was like vulnerable and easily influenced. You know what I'm saying? So if I can just share my story and you know and get my word out there so that they don't make the mistakes I made, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about right there.
Yes. And what do you find? You talk a lot at schools. You go a lot. I see a lot of your videos you share. What story or maybe a joke you share or something you share with kids that you find the most, they react the most, and like they react and they listen and they, engage with you? Is there any specific like favorite story you share at school? Maybe a joke? Because I know all speakers, they have their own like favorite jokes or stories. And you
Yeah,
find,
so I don't have a favorite joke, but it's something that I do that shocks them every time. So I use an example why it's so important to have a purpose in life, right? And I'll call somebody out of the audience and I'll have them come up. It's always good to interact with the audience. So I have them come up and I have them jump forward off of 2 feet. I said, listen, I want to see how far you can jump forward off of 2 feet. And so when they jump forward, right, I mark their spot. And then I tell them to go back to their original spot, right? And I asked them, I said, you think you can jump further than this? And sometimes they'd be like, I think so. A lot of times they'd be like, nah, I don't think so. So I'll put probably like $20 or $30 down, right?
Mhm.
And I'll tell them like, listen, if you jump on or over this, it's yours, right? And so, and also I have the crowd cheer them on, you know,
Yeah.
and every single time, it's from a little kid to a grown up, every single time they jump further, every single time. And so the moral of the story is the first time when they jumped, they didn't have nothing to jump for. But the second time they jumped, they had a purpose. They had something to jump for. And that's why it's so important to have a purpose. So I use that example and it shocks the crowd all the time. All the time. Yeah.
I want to highlight how things changed, your perspective changed. So when you were in the streets growing up, like everybody, what they want? They want money, they want quick money, easy money, right? So we all find we chase some kind of success, to become big and important.
Mm.
So forget about the way you're making money, even in general, when it's all about money and success and external things, and compare now when it's about sharing your story and when you see impact on other people's life. What is more fulfilling for you? I just want people to see how much more fulfilling it is, how much more impactful for yourself when you actually can influence other people's in a positive way.
That right there, like just me showing up, like to speak, to share my story, like to have that impact on people is so fulfilling and so rewarding because the feedback I get from people, like it's not just I'll go speak and then leave. I'll speak, I'll stick around. There's people coming up to me, like they can relate to my story, they start to open up to me, and like that right there is so like it's a beautiful thing, just that I get that reaction from them just by sharing my story, like there was one time I spoke. I always share this story right here. There was one time I spoke at a school, and it was about 800 kids. And after I finished speaking, the gym cleared out, and this young girl, she was a freshman at the time. This young girl, she came up and she was like, "I want to thank you for coming here today to share your story because yesterday I was going to kill myself." And and if I would have did that, I wouldn't have been here today to hear your story. Now you make me look at life in a whole different perspective. Man, that right there, like that's that one person got it out of the 800. That one person, I'm pretty sure more people clicked onto my story, but just her coming to me and saying that, like, I was like, wow, like, well, I appreciate you, I appreciate it. Like, I thanked her for, you know, being vulnerable, telling me that, you know what I'm saying? And she ended up graduating last year.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it was,
Something you cannot
and
forget.
she was a freshman. She was a freshman when she told me that.
Wow.
Yep, and she ended up graduating last year. So that was like that's what I do it for.
Yes, that's amazing. Wow. It's like I cannot even relate to this. I haven't heard such phrases, but I can relate about people changing their lives. Yes, I know what you're talking about. It's so much more fulfilling. And what I want to say, like your advice to people, because a lot of people, when they come through hard times and they change and they, change their lives, they work hard, they still carry this regret and like victim, like it happened to me. Yes, they changed, they survived, but it happened to me and life was unfair to me and they regret. I want your take on that because you took everything you've been through And now you get to help so many people and change so many lives. So what would you say to this person who is right now out of the woods, but still carries this, it happened to me, I'm the victim, and maybe angry with God even,
Mm. This is funny you said that, angry with God. Like, there's a verse in the Bible that I always, refer back to. It's on my heart, and it's Galatians 6:9. You know, and it says, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose our heart." And things like for a while, part of my life, I was that person. Like, yo, damn, like, you know, this happened because of this person. This happened because of this situation. This happened when it's time. You need to start taking that accountability, right? And own up to your stuff. Once you start owning up to your stuff, it helps you heal, and then you can move on from all that blaming this, blaming that. Like they said, misery loves company. This motivational speaker, right? He said people are so miserable they'll walk in a dark room and start to develop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like, you know what I mean? So what I say to that is, man, just hold on. Just hold on and keep pushing forward. Like, you're doing good, and things could get better. Just continue on to work on yourself, work on you, right? Work on you. And the more you work on you, the better things will be for you, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you didn't know your purpose. That's what I want to highlight to them using your story, because why I love it so much. Because you lived through this experience and you started doing good. You started working on yourself, but you didn't know that you had the purpose. You were still, you were just working on yourself, and then you realized, and then things made sense, because I believe that why kids react to you so much, because you've been them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
because the way you talk, you're not some kind of adult who comes and try to teach them something. You've been them. You felt what they feel. So
Mm-hmm.
the way you talk, you're probably one of the rare people who can knock on their door because you speak their language. You speak how they understand. So
Yeah.
how was this, like, now it hit you? Yes, yeah, I have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So how does someone who is now in the dark believes that it has a purpose?
Mm-hmm. It's so I feel as though your purpose is something that you can do effortlessly, Like I don't even think about it when I go speak. Like it's like I just go be me. I just go be me. And all of us have a gift inside of us. Like we have to find it though. Like God put a gift inside of us, right? So we can give to the world. That's why it's called a gift, and we have to search for it. We have to search for this gift. We have to search for our purpose. We have to try things. Like you just can't stay in your comfort zone. You have to try new things. I be trying all type of stuff. Like I'm an instructor. I'm working on being a fitness instructor. Who would ever think? People see me on social media right now, like, yo, this dude is running a fitness class. What is going on here? Like, like I make T-shirts. I drive a cement truck. Like, you know, I, uh, you know, um, I'm a speaker, and I'm just doing. You got to try things. You'll never know. You'll never know unless you try, right? You can try it and fail at it. Denzel Washington, he said, um, if you don't try, he said, if you don't feel at something, that means you're not trying. Like try things. You know, um, you know, experiment, man. Like you're gonna fail. You're gonna go through trials and tribulations. That's just part of life. Go through it and then grow through it. That's that's it. That's
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I always like watch your videos. I love how you dance. There are a lot of people who follow me and they want to grow their blog, but they're just like scared posting
Yeah.
They know they should, and they're funny, and maybe they're experts. They want to, to create reels, but they're freeze. Like they cannot. So, and you are not only sharing, you're dancing and being
Yeah, yeah,
vulnerable,
yeah.
and
I,
like
I
doing all the vibes. So, how do you do that? How do you put yourself out there?
I just press record and go. Nah. So it's funny you said that. I started doing so I'm starting to do like just press and record and do videos and just talking, right?
Yeah.
I struggle with that. I could do all this other stuff, right? I could do all this dancing in front of people and speaking in front of hundreds and thousands of people. But here I am trying to post a video and it's like, ah, nah, take 18, take 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try it. Ah, nah, I don't like that. I don't like, nah. So now I just started doing it. So I just record, I press record. Once it's done, I don't look back at it. I just send it out, you know?
Yes. You know that our brain is wired to constantly like give ourselves estimation. Are we good enough? Are we fit enough? It's evolutionary thing. It's not in the conscious brain. Subconsciously, we always check, are we fitting in the environment? And that's part why you became like your environment, because we are wired to match where we are to survive. That's fascinating. When I started learning neuroscience, it fascinated me that it's not because we choose to be this way, but all our body will want to fit in our environment because that's how we are. If you are with the tribe, you're going to survive. But if you're on your own, you're not going to survive. So evolutionary, we try to fit to our environment. And that's actually my another question to you. Have you changed like your environment? I assume you did, right? You
Yeah.
changed the neighborhood, and how much you felt difference, because when you try to get better, the people who are staying the same, they try to pull you. So give some examples how you realize that no, I have to like change and cut some relationships because they're pulling me back.
hmm
And where did you find the strength to do it, and how did it look for you?
So I had to create my circle. I had to be in places where, like, I just had to change my whole circle. I had to find people that are doing better than me or heading the same way I'm going. That's my model. If you got to be, you're doing better than me or heading the same way I'm going. Them are the people I look for. I'm a people's person, right? I like to converse. I like to talk to people. That's just me. And my personality, my character draws people to me as well. You know, it's about how you present yourself. Like how you present yourself will show up. Like how your character is. It's a big part of changing that circle. And so, like I said, I had to create that. And when I created it, I went to, like magazine events, you know, speaking events, like speaking, you know what I'm saying? Like people that are doing the same thing I'm doing, or heading the same way I'm going, or doing better than me. Like them are the people I had to create. Because listen, I and this is the benefit of me creating that. Like, let me tell you the benefit of that. In 2021, right? I lost my mother, my brother, all in like a 6-month period. I lost my mother, my brother, my job, my apartment, two of my best friends, right? I could have easily gave up on life. I could have easily went back and got high, go back to the streets. But guess what? The people that I surrounded myself with, that circle that I created, they lift me up. They lift me up. They was in my corner, you know? They and them are the people you need. You need them people that the people that light up when they see you. Like when you see stuff and they light up and be just smiling, like, "Hey, what's going on?" Them are the people you need around you. Them are the people that Team Anna, Team Juice. You know what I'm saying? Like Team Julian. Like them are the people you need in your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know a secret, I don't know if I can share, but maybe you shared on your Instagram that you launch in your community.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I know a little secret. I don't know, maybe it's not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that. And I just want to say that, wow, you have to, and everybody who is watching, and if you're in some kind of feeling yourself, you're a leader and people gather around you, you should launch your communities. And if you follow Julian or me, you have to join Julian's community. Why? Because as you said, environment is everything. And I've heard it somewhere, like if you have 9 people who are like,
Yeah,
this thing, how they say?
birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah,
Birds of a feather flock together. If you hang around 5 losers, you'll be the 6th loser. If you hang around 5 winners, you'll be the 6th winner. So yeah, yeah.
exactly. And so community is that's the place where you surround yourself intentionally with people who can uplift you, as you said, when you lost everything. And you were one step to go to your old life, right? And people around you, they wanted to pull you up because actually, naturally, people, what they do, it's also neuroscience. Neuroscience is amazing. I love neuroscience. So what we do as people, we pull people to where we are at. So we have this tendency. So if you are going up and I'm at the bottom, it's natural reflex of my nervous system to pull you down. So if you are only one and you have 10 people down, so one is not enough, not strong enough. So 10 people will pull you down. But if you are one and you have 10 people up, it's a natural reflex to pull people up. You know what I mean? So it's all neuroscience. It's actually amazing how much we live on autopilot, but we can choose consciously our environment. And I love it. So tell me more about your community. So how do you see it? Like what's happening inside? I know it's like not for
So
you have to share.
so I just launched Juice and Grace, right? It's a community where, people can come share their stories and uplift each other, show love and, just to communicate, to lean on each other, to if you're going through something, your trials and tribulations, how'd you overcome it, Or if you're going through something, come and share it. If it's a non-judgment spot. Like ain't nobody gonna judge you for what you've been through or what you're doing. Listen, man, it's and so it's weekly Zoom meetings. I haven't picked a day yet for the weekly Zoom meetings, which will be for a half an hour, and then once a month I'm gonna have a speaker come, like an entrepreneur, somebody that's striving in the game heavy. And, I know a few people, you know what I'm saying? So once a month out, I have a guest speaker and just, see how the community will build after that. So how you can find it is, if you go on my page, my social media, my Instagram, Julian Motive 02, and if you just comment the word pour, POUR, some information to get right to you, and we can make it happen. We can connect and we can build, man, and make this a loving, a caring, and inspirational thing. You get morning inspiration every morning. You get a little video from me, a big video because I'm a big boy, and we there to communicate. We there to uplift each other. We there to just build. So
Yeah, I have to be honest. Like I'm in your community, and all these videos and morning texts that you send, it's just exactly what you need to start the day because we like to live on autopilot. As I say, we're all about problems and where we're going and goals and everything. But just this message, like stop for a second. Hey, you're okay. You're doing okay and this positive energy. So I wanted to say thank you for these messages and keep doing what you're doing because you kind of read it, you stop for a second and you say, wow, I can do this. Like I can do it, and it's completely changing how your mood is during the day. So I love it.
Absolutely.
And communities are amazing. Communities, I feel like this is a new type of society where everybody will find energy that feels aligned for them, and they will be parts of all these different communities. Because now the world is like we have celebrities, right? Celebrities there. So I cannot like DM celebrity and ask, hey, uplift me, right?
Right.
Or they're
We
somewhere.
we celebrities too. We
Yeah,
celebrities
so it's
too.
like
Yeah.
we need two type of celebrities, Julian. Celebrities like you that are like down to earth and approachable, and they have communities where they host. So I feel like the world is changing and shifting, and I love it. The world has been separated so much, you know. So
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you about also about environment. Did you find, because I know a lot of people who are on a path of healing, recovery, and they do good, they change the environment, and then the past knocks on your door in some shape or form. I know it happens all the time. It's like you are out, you are, living your life, you're good, and then past experience friend, old friend will knock on your door. Did this happen to you, and how did you handle that?
Well, it pops up in my face all the time, like, and I just, it ain't like I just continue to just do me. I just continue to run the program that I'm running, right? And stay away from that environment. It pops up, it pops up, but I know how to avoid it. I avoid it by staying away from it. And once it comes up, once it appears, I disappear. I see it. You know what I'm saying? Once it appears, I disappear. You won't see me again, right? And it's just, sometimes, like another thing, you know, um, like drinking, right? Like I go to like sometimes I go to events now, and people are drinking and just matter of fact, just the other day, just I went to a restaurant and they had like a little bar section and two guys was over there getting their drink on and and they they say, hey, what's up, man? They was like, yo, you want a shot? And I was like, nah, I'm good, man. But they didn't mean no harm. They don't know I'm in recovery. You know what I'm saying? They don't mean no harm. But how I handle it though, I told them that. I said, listen, I told them when I told him, I said, I'm in recovery. He was like, oh, my fault, man, my fault. I said, nah, y'all didn't mean no harm. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just doing it out of love, because they just trying to look out for, look out for somebody. But that's how I handled that. I handled it like, yo, I'm all set, like I'm good. I went over there, introduced myself to them, gave them my card, like, yeah, I'm a motivational speaker, boom. And, we just started talking for like 10 minutes. And that conversation probably did something to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but that's how I handle situations like that. I just remove myself from the situation.
Yes.
Once it comes, once it pops up on me.
Wow, I love it. Because
Yeah.
I feel like what I love about you, I love everything. I love your energy. I love your page. I love your dancing every
Yeah.
morning that I see. I love if you haven't seen Julian's dance, you have to go and check out his page on Instagram. It's like amazing energy. You know what else I also love? I love how you know who you are and
Yeah.
how open you are about this is me. That's what I've been through. That's who I am. That's my purpose. So I feel like this probably partially or in a big way helping you to stay away from everything that is no longer serving you because
Mhm.
you know who you are.
Yep.
But it
Yep.
took you time, right? It took you
That's it.
time and effort.
It took me a lot of time. It took me a lot of time to like, to realize like this is me. Like, and it hurt me too. It hurt me sometimes too because, by me being up front and so blunt, like some people don't even want to deal with that. Like, what? You an ex-felon? What? You robbed what banks? You a you a recovering heroin addict. Like people look at you funny sometimes, like, even like when I first came home from jail trying to get a job. I was so honest with all the employers, like, trying to get the job the interview will go good. Once I tell them I'm an ex felon, They don't even get back to me. You know, I got turned down so many times for a job, so many times. But I had to create things. I had because being an ex-felon, it's so hard to get a job. So that's why I worked on myself so much when I was locked up, right? To come home, so I have, so that door be open just a little bit more for me, you know. And so I went, I, I got a job, right? I got a job. I know I'm a little off track, but I got a job as a dishwasher, right? And then I went from a dishwasher to a prep cook, from a prep cook to a cook. I was a cook at Applebee's for 8 months, right? Then I said to myself that I can do more. I know I can do more. And I went to this program. It's called Mass Rehab. It's in Massachusetts. And I went and got my CDL license, commercial driver's license. I didn't know nothing about it, nothing about it. And I went and got my CDL license, and I've been driving the cement truck for 10 years now. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then you are also doing the speaking and the author and launch your community. So you're always like going more and more and more and never stop. And that's what I love about you. I have a lot of followers on my page who are Ukrainians, and they came here with the war like 4 years ago, as me as myself. So I came also with the war, and I just wanna like speak to them as well, because you come surprisingly, you're also coming from immigrant family. I did not realize that about you. It's interesting. It's interesting how life puts together people that, because I have a lot of immigrants on my community, and immigrants when they come to new country, especially after war and it's hard, so they get stuck and they think that they're not capable of anything more, and that's their ceiling and that's all. And that's what I'm also trying to share with people, that your ceiling is where you say is your ceiling. So if you say this is Applebee's cook, this is Applebee's cook. If you say it's speaker and author, it's speaker and author. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right?
And I still want to go. Like I want to go. I want to be a full-time speaker, you know. And I did. And I listen. I did it before. Like I left my job for like a year and a half to go full-time speaking, right? And I did it for like 8, 9 months. What the thing with me was, a lot of people didn't have the budget to pay me, And then I was just like a new speaker as well too, I was only like 3 years into the game, so it's like, but I would still take the gigs, but but bills got to get paid, and and so forth and so forth. So I went back. I went back to work. I got a brand new truck, and I got a $4 raise, and and I'm still speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I want to go. I want to go full time though. I want to.
And you will. And you know how many people, they have some kind of, okay, they get a dream and they get excited. Wow, I'm gonna be a speaker. I'm gonna do this, and then they face reality. Yes, it's gonna be a little bit bumpy on the road. So yes, you're gonna speak, but maybe no budget and so on. And then a lot of people, they drop out. They say, "Oh no, but it's not for me. I'm not gonna be able to do it." But those who succeed, they don't stop. And I know that soon we will make another live and you will tell me, "Hey, Anna, you know what? I'm no longer a truck driver. I'm doing this and that. I have projects and I have launched businesses and I'm a speaker." And I know this about you because you don't stop. I know the person who is really going to achieve something is the only difference between those who do and don't. Those who do, they don't stop. So I just want to share with my followers also, like, yes, I know you're immigrant. Yes, I know you've been through war. Yes, I know life is hard and you have kids and you have so on. Look at Julian. His life was hard as well, and so much hard. We're not comparing, but like everybody has their pool of hardship. And if he could do it, you can do it. It's like, you can go forward.
And another thing, I ain't doing it by myself. I got a partner, my girl. She, very supportive. Like in anything I do, like anything, like I want to do this. Let's do it. Like I want to do this. Like very supportive and tell me if I'm doing the wrong thing, or like like just she's my yeah, she's my rock.
Yeah.
She's my big supporter. Yeah, absolutely. So I got a partner. You need that partner in your life.
Yes, and
Yeah.
those who have partners treasure them, because I feel like when people think about best investments, like what
Yeah.
is your best, most valuable investments, I would say first of all, it's your own personal development, like what
Hmm.
you put in your brain, what you put in your body, like developing yourself. Second is relationship,
Yep.
like your relationships. And in relationship, I don't mean only love, I also mean like friends, community, environment, as you did, as you are saying, right? Like
Yep.
your community lift you up. And for me, it's a big one for me, and I want to mention it also. It's like your spiritual development, like your something bigger than yourself.
Hmm.
And when did it hit you there is something bigger than just this, this myself, body and and muscles
Listen,
and money?
I had like I'm a God fearer man. I'm a Christian brother, and like I like I remember there was times, right, where like when I was in the streets, like, gang banging, selling drugs and all that stuff, I got shot at for so many times, right? Like close range. Like and never got hit. You know what I'm saying? Like it used to blow my mind, like blow my mind. Like my mother always prayed, a praying woman. My mother and her friends always prayed for me. I have a pastor. His name's Chris Womack. He he been in my life since he's seen the whole transformation from 16 to now. He been praying for what I am right now. You know what I'm saying? My mother, like, God rest my mother's soul, like I was blessed to I was blessed that she's seen the transformation while she was still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, see me like get out of the streets and doing the right thing now. And my mom, she passed away, she was 89. I used to be like, she would say, "How'd you get here?" I was like, "I drove." She's like, "Oh my God, be careful, you driving. You don't have no license." But I had my license. She said that's just all from back when I was younger. I never had my license driving all the time, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm here by the grace of God, right? Um, this is nothing but God. The way how I changed, like how I stopped getting high. Like I didn't do no program, I didn't do no 12 step. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like it was God. I'm here by the grace of God. Like He saved me. He saved me. Like He pulled me through. Like through prayer, through people like I'm here by the grace of God. Like I can't even explain it. It's God. Like I was a cold-blooded addict. I was shooting heroin, shooting coke. I was homeless. I was panhandling. There was times I never showered. I wear the same clothes for 4 or 5 days. Like I was a mess. Sleeping in hallways. I was a mess. Like I was a mess. And this is why I share my story, like because there's probably people struggling right now. Like I'm here by the grace of God, and God gave me the strength. He gave me the courage. He gave me the spirit, man, to be a light to others. To be a
Yes.
light to others, and that's my mission.
Exactly. And partly why I started this Creatorland podcast and what the philosophy is all about is that we have two modes where we live. So, one mode, so we are born and we go through struggles. Everyone goes through their own struggles. We're not like comparing, but for everyone, the struggle is real. And like, first part of your life, you go through the struggle. So, what I like to say it. So, how you will know what light is if you've never been in the dark?
Mm,
How will you know what love is if you never felt like you're abandoned and lonely? And how you will know what God is if you've never experienced this path, you know, how he saved you and how the bullets skipped you. So this is partially, and then we switch the mode. So once we connect to the spiritual part inside, we understand that everything had a reason. Everything had a meaning, even the darkest, most painful times. And then you find the spiritual part in you and you switch the mode to creator mode. So you discover your purpose. Why am I here? And look, Julian, every step of your way, everything was leading you to where you are right now. And when you look back, you can say, hey, now it makes sense. Now this information is useful. Now I can use it at schools. Now, and not only about the darkest part, but also your life path. You learned stuff, you connected to people, you discovered this, you failed and you learned the lesson. So everything, right? Everything makes sense when you understand why it happened. So people who are in the process right now, like in this darkness, in the survival, they just have to find this spark inside, even when everything is dark, right? And I love how you're talking about God. I know also a lot of people who are spiritual, and my followers, it's not about religion. It's more like, yeah, I know something bigger than me. That's what I mean by spiritual. You know, I know that I don't know everything. I know universe is amazing, and you know there is something that created us. So that's what I mean by spirituality. And I also know that a lot of people are now, they don't talk about it. Like they separate their life. Okay, that's my life, like my business, my speaking, and that's God and spirituality. But I know you speak openly about it, and was it always this way, or there was time when you were like not hiding, but not being open about your faith?
Yeah, there was time. Yeah, there was times I was like, you know, there was even times like when I was locked up, man, and like a Muslim brother, you know, they would want to go back and forth, you know, like go back and forth with Christianity and Muslim, and like, and that kind of like pushed me away, like, cause I wasn't prepared for it, you know, like, and I would get like in my feelings about it, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know, you know, like I didn't know how to, go back and forth, but it's not even about going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It's just, believing in what you believe in and keeping it to you. And, like I don't push religion. I don't push God on people. You know what I'm saying? I don't be like, yo, I'm a Christian brother. Listen, you need to be a Christian. I'm telling you, this is the way to go. Like I'm telling you, this is I can't. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it like that. I make it known that I'm a Christian brother. I make it known that through my poetry, and through certain things I say, I'm here by the grace of God. I got a poem that's called God First. You know what I'm saying? So like, um, so
Do you know your poem? Like, can you recite it?
oh yeah. I know my absolutely.
Can
You want to hear? You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's called God First, and I said a strong wind blows with force, pushing away rough times of trials and tribulations. Then comes new times, of course, to show no remorse and no more limitations. Problems don't last too long if we put God first in every situation. Our heart will be content in any event because prayer precedes preparation. Tick tock, time never stops. Our time can be seconds away. So live life to the fullest extent and put God first each day. That's that. That's it.
Gave me goosebumps. I have
Yeah.
goosebumps all over my.
That's that.
That's amazing. You should. Do you have it on your Instagram? I didn't see. Maybe it was previous. You should
It's probably I post it once in a while, and like, but it's on my page if you scroll all the way, because I've been doing a lot of dancing, and my twin brother been doing a lot of dancing, and it's me.
Yes, I love it. So, Julia, where are you going now? Like, where you see? Because people they also like. I like people who are open. So you say, "Hey, I'm not where I want right now. Not exactly like I love where I am. You love your life, but you can do better. So where are you heading? Like, what's your big dream?"
So my big dream is to be a speaker, you know, full time, traveling and just, bringing love, bringing hope to different communities, to different people, corporations. That's just what I want to do. And leave a legacy for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to do. That's it, man. That's it right there.
That's amazing. I love
Yeah,
how
that's
your
it.
dream is now. A lot of people they think they should be dreaming. They think they should be dreaming about big house and yacht and mansions and this is nice. Yeah,
It
of
is
course.
nice. I would like to
It's
have
nice.
that too.
Yes.
They said dreams without goals are only dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yes, but I like when you say like I want to be a speaker and share joy and share my purpose and make an impact and leave a legacy. And I strongly believe that all material things are gonna be just a byproduct of doing what God created you to do.
Mm.
It's like if God created you to leave this impact and do this, what you're doing, then all of this is gonna be automatic.
It's
Like
gonna come. It's gonna
it's gonna
come.
come. Yeah. So I love when people put the dreams and goals that can impact, that can
Yeah.
change lives. It's completely the more you serve, the more you're actually able to receive from the universe. And
Right.
if what is your version of dream world? I know it's maybe utopia, but like I have my version, I'll share later maybe. Like what would be the world you want your grandchildren and grandchildren grow up in?
I want them to grow up in a place where they feel a little struggle, right? They feel adversity, right? And and for them to overcome that and to just to show love and give hope and peace to other people, man. Like just I don't want it to be crazy. I don't want it to be like a crazy world. Just everybody just get along, man. Enjoy life. Like it's so many beautiful places. There's so many beautiful souls. A lot of people is just so miserable, man. And like I just want it to be just, peaceful. Not peaceful like real peace. Need a little action in your life, you know what I'm saying? But just adventurous
Yeah, in a good way, right? Good
in a good way.
adventures.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
adventures.
yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I believe that we will not need to struggle if everyone, it's part of my also philosophy and the legacy that I want to leave. So if everyone will understand, as you said, God put gift inside of everyone.
Hmm.
There is no human being that is breathing on this earth that doesn't have some talent or gift or, something that they meant to do it. So if people focus not on external but on internal
Hmm.
to find out who am I? What do I
Yeah,
like to do? What brings me joy? What
right.
am I joyful? Like you have so much joy when you dance and when
I
you
love it. I
speak,
love dancing.
right?
Yeah, I love speaking. I love dancing. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's your
Brings me
unique
to-
gift. And look, your dances uplift people. You're speaking others. So that's what you came here to do. So I believe that when we look inside and we do the work, really do the work, and we find what brings us joy truly, there is no competition in this world because
Mhm.
everybody is unique and there is enough everything for everyone. Then we will not have to fight and
Right.
live in this world. So we need more people like you, Julian, who spread
Yeah.
who spreads the
Like
positive vibe.
they gotta be willing to jump in this arena, man. Like it's enough it's enough for everybody. Like you just gotta be willing to just take those chances, man, and just and learn. Take chances and learn and grow with people.
Yes.
Don't
And
don't grow by yourself. Grow with people. You know?
exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
You
they'll
grow
take you
at your
further.
pace. Yeah.
Together we could go further. By yourself, there's limits.
Yes. I love
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my God. I love it. 1 hour passed. I didn't even notice. Like,
I
I feel like
know, I
we
know.
go on and go on. I love it. I love it so much, Julian. I want to thank you so much for coming. You're my second guest, by the way. It's my second episode.
I seen the last one. I seen it. I
Yes,
seen it. Yeah.
and I'm so excited that you get to be among the first people who come to me, and I hope it's not the last. It's first
No,
episode,
you
but
come
it's
on.
not the last. We will do
Man.
more and more, and please keep dancing and keep spreading the joy, and let everybody join your community. Maybe people don't even know about it, so we're telling them, go and join Julian's community and get this, uplift yourself, like
Right.
pull yourself out from the misery, from bad vibes. And yeah, thank you so much, Julian. And
Thank
I
you.
will see you
Thank you
soon.
so much for having me. You know, this is